G'day guys, ladies and gentlemen, and kia ora. My name is Wildkard. It is that time of the year, once again, one of the most exciting period for a lot of people and potentially life-changing moments that'll be upon us just in the, maybe 24-hour time or so. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, in my humble opinion, that earning yourself a black jersey is one of the most coveted, one of the most prestigious achievements that any human being could ever achieve in their lifetimes. And of course, it's time for me to speculate. For us all to speculate who is going to have one of these life-changing opportunities to take up on the black jersey and leave it at a better place than when they put it on. And to be honest with you, right, at the moment, the performance hasn't been that great. So to leave it at a better place, plenty of room to go, guys. Plenty of room to take the jersey to a higher place from where he was left over under the management of Razor Robinson. So with that being said, before the announcement is it's going to be officially broadcasted tomorrow, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you guys my starting 23 for the mighty All Blacks, in my opinion. Okay, now keep in mind, there is a couple things that restricts the selections. Obviously, people who might be injured, people who might not be available. Scotty Barrett, he's got injury and / not available. And you got a lot of things to consider as well, right? Clash of positions, clash of talents, right? Sometimes there's a player that's been so outstanding, I can't fit him in the starting 23 because injury covers before other people are just playing better because of the style of rugby. In my opinion, the All Blacks should be going for my clash with some of the ideas that you might have. We'll see this, when we get to the bench. The finisher selections have gone for a 6-2 finisher, and you probably already guess who I've selected as the sixth forward on the bench. And as a result, there are some pretty good backs are going to be left out. And I do think that this is sort of things that the All Blacks needs to at least explore. Maybe not to take it upon as a full-on strategy, but this should be something that they should be open to. And in my opinion, this is the best setup I think that the All Blacks should pursue, both from the perspective of that it being, my opinion, one of the strongest possible selections, but also going forward to give it more of that dynamic, that fit into that profile of the utility player style of rugby that we'd like to see in the international test, in the international test arena. So with that being said, without further ado, coming in at number 1, of course, it's got to be. I am Groot. Ethan de Groot is my loose head prop. Obviously, he's been absolutely outstanding for the Highlanders, and it's been outstanding in the scrummaging for the All Blacks for quite some time now. Why is this glitching out a little bit? Here we go. It's been quite one of those solo players for the All Blacks for quite some time, and just outstanding scrummaging overall. Very few mistakes, and just an absolute mongrel. The Highlanders, I don't like to. Don't want to disrespect anybody, but I do think that Ethan de Groot is one of the players that's really carrying the team quite a bit up front with that physicality. So my number 1 guy, Ethan de Groot. Coming number 2, Asafo Aumua, who's been absolutely outstanding for the Hurricanes this weekend. Not just this weekend, this entire season. He's been good at lineouts, massively improving lineouts. Last year, his lineout throws wasn't that great. This year has been much better, improved. Also, his running game has always been good, and I think he's taken another step forward with that running game. His fitness and agility has improved as well, both bolstering that capability of ball carrying. And I just think that he's better than ever, and his performance in Super Rugby has earned, in my opinion, a start ahead of Cody Taylor, ahead of any other hooker right now in New Zealand. So Asafo Aumua comes in at number 2. Number 3, another just huge guy from the Hurricanes, Pasilio Tossi. I thought last year he was already incredibly good for the Hurricanes. He shows some pretty good scrummaging and pretty good carries as well, around the park. And once again this season, just like Aumua has improved on that carry game. So I'm pretty happy for him to start at number 3, just like he's done for the Hurricanes. Just absolute dominant all around the park, both in the forward pack and as a runner out of the back. And Tyrell Lomax has been injured quite a bit, and so far I haven't seen, and I think he needs a bit more time to really get himself back into the rhythm to potentially take the 3 jersey again. So Tossi is my number 3 tight head prop for the mighty All Blacks. Now coming in at number 4 is Tupou Vaa'i. Now here's a controversial thing I'm going to talk about. I do think that the All Blacks the best lock in Super Rugby right now is Werner Derns, and he plays for Japan. So, yeah, unfortunately, no one else in Super Rugby is quite, from the perspective of being a lock, it's quite the same level as Werner Dern. And the best, I think one of the biggest reasons Hurricanes were so dominant is because of Werner Derns. And without him, unfortunately, I do think that the best available for the All Blacks, with obviously Scooter, he's not available. I think Tupavai is the one that's going to come in at number 4. Dominant, physical. He can also play at number 6 as well. But I just think that dominant, physical, and just giving that extra bit of I think he's just the best available. I think at this point for the number 6 jersey, and he's just always been a solid performer for the All Blacks as well. So he's been out a little bit for injury, and then I think he's been pretty solid in the last few rounds to earn that number 4 jersey. Coming in number 5, Josh Lord. Once again, if you go look at all the lineouts from all the New Zealand teams, has been pretty average, and this consistently the lineout hasn't gone their way. And unfortunately, Josh Lord at the Chiefs has the best lineout overall. So Josh Lord, as a crucial part of the Chiefs lineout operations, gets him a nod at number 5 jersey here as well. And the other options, obviously, you got Darry for the Blues. I think it's okay. Leo Weddy, I think he's okay as well. But I think Warner Dern's doing all the carrying at Hurricanes there. And then you've got who else have you got? That's pretty much. Holland. Holland is on the bench because I think he's been injured. He's been decent. You got Simon Parker. I don't think Simon Parker has been injured. I haven't seen him in the Chiefs team for quite some time. I think he's injured. So currently Josh Lord and Tupavai, the pair from the Chiefs, are the best available. Unless you can somehow get Warner Derns to turning his Japan jersey, right? I come in number 6. Summer Penny Finau has been really, really impressive for me. He has always been really, really good physically dominant in terms of tackling and defensively, and that's something that you want from a 6, right? The All Blacks has always lacked a bit of a physicality recently, and I don't think just look at how many hits he's put on the weekend. Just that big hit on Jordy Barrett as well, just absolutely throwing his body out there every game, and I really do like that. And also he's also gonna be a lineout option, third lineout option as well occasionally. So just giving that dynamic, and also working with other Chiefs players in the lineouts just gives that a bit more consistency as well in terms of lineout operations there. So Finau comes in, Summer Penny Finau comes in at number 6 for me. Coming in at number 7, Adi Savea returning to New Zealand from Japan, and obviously he's going to be potentially the captain because he's been working with Dave Rennie in Japan. Unless they're going to bring back Brody Retallick, I don't see. Unless Brody Retallick wants to come back, or they want to change the law or allow him to play anyway. I don't think that the Locks have even any other options for Locks, to be really frank with you. But Adi Savea definitely come back. He'll be at 7, in my opinion. And coming at number 8, Peter Larkai, who's been, again, just outstanding on the weekend for the Hurricanes. Physicality, the speed that he showed on the field on the weekend, it was just, in fact, throughout the whole season, has been tremendously good. And just the hands around the tight areas, getting that offload as well, just absolutely outstanding. Peter Larkai, number 8 for me for the All Blacks. And it could potentially go to 7 if Adi Savea wants to be at 8. But I have him at 8 just because he has been so dominant in that position there for the Hurricanes. And he's played for the All Blacks there as well. Coming in at number 9, in my opinion, probably I actually think it's better than Dupont, to be honest with you. I think that the Dupont is he does a lot of playmaking out of the 9, but as a just strictly number 9, I think Wildkard is better than Dupont because the French, one of the reasons why Dupont looks so good is because everything is funneled through Dupont, all the playmaking is funneled through Dupont. Whereas I'm sure Wildkard, if we were to just get him out there and funnel everything through him, he'd do just as well. But he's actually capable of opening up the spaces and create opportunity for his 10 and for his 12 for the other player makers that'll be on the field. So I think Wildkard, hands down number 9. I think it's probably the best number 9 in the world right now. Ahead of Dupont. You can let me know if you disagree or not. And coming number 10, this guy has been absolutely lighting the world on fire. I think it was disgraceful, to be honest. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say this. I think it was disgraceful that he didn't even get a single. He had like one game off the bench or something. It didn't get a single starting game for the All Blacks last season at number 10 jersey. under Razor, and I just think that is such a talent that's been just buried. Like last year as well, when he switched to starting to play 10, you can already tell this guy has so much confidence and he's just got such a bright future ahead of him, and he was only going to get better. And just the All Blacks, the previous All Blacks selectors didn't see that in him. I thought it was really disappointing, and finally I think he's proved to everyone that he deserves a starting 10 jersey. And seriously, if he doesn't get starting at 10, I don't know what are we even doing. They might as well fire Dav Rennie and bring back Razor at that point. So yeah, it's hands down number 10, Ruben Love, just been absolutely outstanding. I can't wait to see him play. Can't wait to see him play. To start for the All Blacks and run on in that 10 jersey. Coming in at number 11, and also what's his name? Richie Mwonga. I don't think you even need him anymore at this point, right? Might as well tear up his contract. Like seriously, Richie Mwonga might come in for an injury, but as stands right now, Richie Mwonga is not even going to be available till November. He has to play NPC first, unless they change the law once again. Even if they do change the law, I don't think they need him unless Ruben Love gets injured. Coming in at number 11, Caleb Clark. Now, there's a few options here, and obviously I have to speculate a little bit on the selection policies as to what exactly is the rule here. So obviously the Fihi Faaga Anofo is a great option here at 11, but he is going overseas, and currently there's some talks on contract that they might buy his contract out, and New Zealand Rugby saying they haven't. Technically, New Zealand Rugby is still allowed to select him because he's still contracted New Zealand Rugby until the end of the year, and he has played the required games so far in the current calendar year to be selected. So technically, as far as my understanding go, that Fihi Faaga Anofo is available, is allowed to be selected, but he might not be selected just because of the fact that he's going overseas next year and they just don't want to waste the cap on him, right? But then again, they might just select him to lock him down to New Zealand so that he can't, if he wants to, if he wants to play Test rugby, he's not going to end up playing for Tonga or wherever that he might have ancestry to, right? So they just want to lock him down for that. Maybe they will select him, but I'm just going to assume that he's not available for selection. Otherwise, I think he will be here. Instead, I put in Caleb Clark on the win at number 11 jersey. He's always been good for the All Blacks. I thought he's been on off a little bit, to be honest. But I think that he's just a solid selection for now at number 11 if Fihi is not available for selection as the assumption. Coming number 12, Jordie Barrett. I think he's taking his game at another level. Every year I make a video when I talk about how good Jordie Barrett is, and people say that I'm wrong, and they wanted to have a dominant ball carrier out of number 12, like the good old days of Ma'anonu, right? Ma'anonu, he just finished his final season in France at like age of 42. He's a freak. He is an absolute freak of nature. Like once in a lifetime sort of athlete, and the sort of line break numbers that he gets is unheard of, and no one has done it before, and no one has done it since. So to just say we need to get someone like, with the line break abilities, that is the literally the greatest of all time, God, yeah, like the greatest of all time. It's just not really realistic. It's almost like saying, yeah, let's just replace Caleb Clark with with someone that's what's his name? It's just like saying replacing Richie McCaw or something. It's not really possible. Nonu comes same in the bracket, especially when it comes to the ability to make post contact line breaks. I think Jordie Barrett's done pretty well. And then in terms of post contact meters, but I think the best thing Jordie Barrett brings is a second playmaker out of the 12. His kicking game, his ability to just fill in if the 9 or the 10 is not, especially if the 10 is not spotting something, and he can be that second set of vision now that guides the player inside of him, the 10 to do the right things and where to go, and just I think his ability to be a playmaker makes up for his so-called lack of dominance at 12 as a line breaker, right? So I think Jordie Barrett is the greatest of all time. But anyway, people argue with me with that. Billy Proctor as well, and the combination between him and Jordie Barrett has been so good at the Hurricanes. I just don't see potentially breaking him up and putting like Tupaia at 13, out of position out of 13. I just don't see that. You could, but I just think that Billy Proctor has been so well and so good, so dominant. He gets the number 13 jersey for me. Coming number 14, George Morby has been, again, just outstanding for Hurricanes. I just think that chemistry that he has with the players around him. Again, I will put Fihi at number 11, but I'm just assuming that he's not going overseas. Assuming that he's going overseas. Josh Morby definitely not going to go overseas. Not as far as I know, so I'll put him at number 14. I'll also leveling 2 tries on the weekend, leveling the all-time try scoring cap as well. Just absolute outstanding, and also he can cover the 15 jersey if the injuries arrived at extra bit of diversity there for extra coverage. And coming on 15, Will Jordan. I'm not 100% if he's okay, but I'm gonna assume that he's gonna be okay. So he's being injured. Has gonna be like an ongoing little leg issue, but I'm just gonna assume that he's gonna be okay. And every time he's on the field for the Crusaders, and he's been outstanding. And again, his ability to just almost create something out of nothing, I think is just invaluable for someone at a fullback position. So I have Will Jordan comes in at number 15. On the bench now, this guy, I almost had him at the starting, to be honest. Xavier Numia, he's, again, just the way that the Hurricanes has honed and trained their props and the tie 5 to carry the ball, and just being able to offload has been really, really outstanding. So Xavier Numia are also extremely dominant in scrummaging, right? To the point where I thought it was wrongfully got sent off for the overwhelming dominance over the Highlander scrum in the Lucette side. So yeah, I almost had this guy in the starting. So, but I feel like Ethan DeGroot has a bit more experience over him. Other than that, I think that Numia, if he had a similar number of caps to Ethan DeGroot, I would probably start him ahead of Ethan. But he's been just absolutely outstanding. He will be the reserve Lucette prop for me. Samason Chalkiaho, the leg pump machine, and someone to come off the bench and just finish off in terms of getting a short carry for more try or something. Outstanding off the bench and just being really, really dominant. He's been falling out a little bit last season, but I think he's come back into form this season. So he gets an off for me at the number 17 jersey. Number 18, we've got Fletcher Newell for the Crusaders. Just always pretty solid in a tight head position. I think again, it's either between him or Lomax. I think Lomax has been out for a little bit, and I haven't seen that dominance and consistency so far. So I'm going to get this one to Fletcher Newell. Coming in at number 19, we've got Fabian Holland. He's been coming back from injury. He is available for the All Blacks. Again, I'm hesitant to put him on start position, because obviously he hasn't played for the whole season, and he was outstanding last year. So he was like the rookie of the year last year. So I'm just gonna keep him on the bench. There's other than, if it wasn't for him, you'd probably Sam Darrell here. But yeah, this is what I'm going for number 19. Coming up on number 20. 19. Coming up on number 20. We've got Wallace Titi. He's going to be replacing potentially Artie Savea, or maybe the blind side for Pinau, and then maybe even number 8. So he's got the whole back 3 covered from him. And I think that the impact that it's going to bring off the bench, the energy, it's going to be pretty huge. And finally, this, the wildcard selection, Fainga Anoku will be getting the number 21 jersey, because he both covers the forward and the back. So if one of the centers gets hurt, he can go in for the center, no problem. If one of the, ideally, I want him to come on for potentially an open side flanker, just to assert that forward dominance a little bit more, and just the fact that when he comes on and you put him in like the tight areas around the rocks, he's fresh, and he's just like, everybody in front of him are just tired and slow lumbering forwards, and I think he's gonna sniff out an opportunity and deliver a lot. Like he's gonna sniff out an opportunity, quite easily, just being around the tight areas. If coming off the bench, almost just like an impact player. And I think that the fact that he can play center as well, like I said, can cover the back line if there was injury, pretty safe to have him as number 20 jersey. So yeah, this is my wildcard pick. And as a result of this pick, Quinton Tupaia misses out, because you can't have Tupaia covered, because I want him to come on as a forward, and also be able to cover the back, where Tupai has to be coming on as a back and he cannot cover the forward. So I think this is the way I want to go. And number 22, we've got Cortez Ratama. Out of all the halfbacks, I think Ratama's probably the best one that's available just by eliminations. Not too much. No one's really quite the level as Wildkard, but I think Ratama has been just fine, especially if he's working next to his partner in crime, Damien McKenzie, at number 15. As well, just have to cover the whole backline, essentially. Damien McKenzie, if the 10 gets injured, you have to consider if the 10 gets injured, Ruben Love gets injured, Damien McKenzie can cover that. Because Ruben Love is also a goal kicker, Damien McKenzie can cover goal kicking. So if one of the centers gets injured, Fanga Noku is going to cover that. If the winger gets injured, doesn't really matter. Anyone can cover it. And then if the fullback's injured, when Jordan gets injured, Damien McKenzie can go to fullback. So definitely need someone like either Damien McKenzie or Bowden Barrett to be here. But I just think that Damien McKenzie is currently performing a little bit better than Bowden, to be frank with you. It's actually 50-50. I think Damien McKenzie or Bowden could be this jersey. I just like to, select McKenzie because he's probably a little bit younger and probably have a bit more future at the All Blacks. Bit more, I would say a bit more duration left for his All Blacks career. And I just think that him on the bench here is the right option. Yeah, because other than that, you really don't have someone else that can cover 10. He's either him or Bowden. And I just think Damien McKenzie is slightly better, slightly better, especially at the goal kicking aspect of the game. But anyway, that is my selections. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I can't wait to watch the All Blacks play this year. I think the greatest rivalry tour after watching the Springboks. I mean, obviously, the Barbarians played against the Springboks today. I'm not too impressed, to be honest, but then again, the Springboks don't really ramp up their full scale of level till real test begins. They probably had some pretty tough training camp leading into the Barbarian game, so the load is going to be pretty high for them. And I think that I think the All Blacks is going to surprise a lot of people this year, and it's going to be a lot better than last year. That is 100% for sure. And there's so many people we can't even select. You got Riku Ioane. Just look at the people in this picture here. You got Riku Ioane. You've got several reasons going overseas, so he might not be available. You've got what's his name? Leah Willie. You've got quite some pretty big talents just in this picture alone. You can see that probably won't have a spot in the team because of just how competitive it is. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your selections for the Mighty All Blacks, and I'll see you guys later for the Wallaby selection. Cheers.